Good morning, Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Welcome to the special report for Friday, August the 28th. We've made it through the end of the week. Last morning show of the week, yeah. We're brought to you by KC Security. Thank you very much, KC Security, for your sponsorship. I'm Chris Holtcorn, and I'm here with
Daniel LaPrade. Good morning, everyone. And how was your night, Chris?
Last night was pretty, it was okay. I'm watching a Netflix thing right now called Bloodline.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting family dynamic thing where they run this resort, and one of the kids is a drug dealer and smuggles drugs through the resort, and
nice.
it's actually quite good.
It was a lot drier.
You didn't have
to, it's a little foggy this morning, so I can't wait to see what our camera looks like.
Yes. Well, we'll see what the weather's like. It's coming in. It was okay. There was a little rain when I was coming in, just a little mist on the.
Yeah, like the little drops.
But nothing too big. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We actually have some interesting news this morning, including on a local golf team from a local golf club here who actually won a pretty big tournament just the other day. So we'll have a little bit more on that a little bit later in the show for you. But first, starting off, First Nations. We carried this a couple days ago. Trudeau had an announcement for $2 billion basically in back-to-school funding for the provinces. Basically, about $381 million of that went to the province of Ontario. Now, in addition to that, there was $112 million for on-reserve schools. Now, the NAN, which represents 49 different First Nations here in Ontario, made a public statement about the federal government dragging their feet in providing them with funding. They had originally asked for $33 million, which got rejected because Deputy Grand Chief Derek Fox said that they have to resubmit their request with a budget breakdown for each individual community. Now, this is 630 different communities that this funding is supposed to go towards. So obviously if you're filling this paperwork out, you're greatly concerned about getting this approved so you can start school basically in about 10 days from now.
That's a lot of, communities that you're affecting.
Yeah, and not only are you dealing with 630 different communities, you're also dealing with the fact that some of these are in remote areas, and it's not like you can just walk down the street and get what you need. You're dealing with places where you have to bring it in, and it might be by plane or they're remote and it has to come in by truck. So you're dealing with areas that are basically, a lot of them are fairly remote. So it makes it even, like if it was 630 600 places inside of Toronto, it might be doable. Because you have the infrastructure and the transportation and the ease of moving stuff around. But these are isolated
communities.
But a lot of these are isolated communities, and so they have a very good point here that they, the clock's ticking here.
And the countdown is on.
Yeah, it's ticking for everybody because even here locally, the staggered start begins right after Labor Day on Tuesday, September the 8th.
Tuesday the 8th.
And the schools across Ontario all start on the same day, including the schools on these reserves. So we'll see what happens there, but hopefully there'll be more. They'll get the funding figured out and get the personal protective equipment there that they need to keep the kids safe.
Absolutely. Okay.
But in lighter news.
So yes, this is news that a lot of people have been waiting for. Tomorrow morning is the big day for Giant Tiger. They open their doors here in Sault Ste. Marie. So this has been long awaited. There's been groups petitioning for a Giant Tiger here, Facebook group for quite a while. So now that everything is set to go, originally they were supposed to open in July, but of course things got pushed back a little bit with the pandemic. It delayed the construction, so only being off by a month, I'd say that's pretty darn good.
Yep.
So they will be opening. Going to be welcoming people to the Wellington Square Mall location Saturday, August 29th, beginning at 9 a.m. Now, I think we might want to double check that because I think it's 7 a.m. I know this because KC Security, we will be there on site, and we have to be there at 6:30 in the morning. So apparently it is an earlier opening, so we have to
maybe
just double check.
Maybe it's an earlier opening just on the Saturday.
Maybe just for the Saturday,
Because that was from their official press release.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, they have more than 250 stores across 8 provinces. This grand opening is just part of the flurry of activity at Wellington Square Mall, and the new IDA walk-in clinic has just recently opened in the mall, and the parking lot has been resurfaced, and the Food Basics, of course, is the anchor still at the other end. So that mall's been, getting a facelift, which was much needed. Market Mall will see the same thing over the next while as well. So we're seeing a resurgence for these small malls, and
Yes.
the Station Mall is going by the wayside a little bit, and Cambrian Mall is still got the same things going.
I think as the city sort of rebuilds the way it does retail post COVID-19, I think you'll find more and more of these smaller malls with a few big stores in them, and a couple of sort of mom and pop shops in there as well will be kind of the future. I mean, malls
in themselves are a
this
dying
isn't
thing.
just a Sault Ste. Marie thing. This
No.
is malls in general. The large malls are not doing well.
No.
I know, like, where my parents are from and where I grew up, Barrie, they expanded the mall. But then after they expanded the mall, now they've got a bunch of empty stores. There's 2 other malls in Barrie as well, and both of them are half empty. And it's just because of the transition to online sales.
You can just sit at
buying
home
patterns have changed.
I can go right here on the computer and order stuff right now, right
Yep.
here on the show.
And it might even be at your house tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. We live in a completely different world. I mean, obviously there's some things you can't buy online, and certain things you can't do online. But a lot of this transition to the new economy and our new normal post COVID-19 is you're going to see these smaller, more localized malls actually
They're going to benefit.
be the beneficiaries of that, and also it's good for things like climate change and stuff, because then you're not traveling. Well, not in this town, you're not, but you're not traveling 20 minutes to get to a mall. You're traveling 5 minutes. And a lot of community development that's now required when you're building is you're building communities, and then also you have to put a small mall in as well to have things locally so people aren't driving all around. That's how they did it in Barrie, anyways, where I was growing up. If you built a subdivision, you had to connect a small strip mall to it.
Just so there was something there.
And so that there's
some
stuff
services.
locally, a little drugstore, pizza place, things like that. Doctor's office, optometry, all that type of stuff. So it is a trend that we're going to continue to see in planning, because a lot of this also comes down from the province as well.
And go to Algoma Marketplace if you want to shop online
businesses.
Locally. It's like the Amazon locally. So Algoma Marketplace, you can find that information on our website as well, SiouxOnline.com.
Yes, you can. And as I mentioned before, there was a golf team from Crimson Ridge, local golf course here, who played in the RBC PGA Scramble, presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. It was down in Richmond Hill at Summit Golf Club. They came in first. Now, the Scramble here is you're all basically playing the same ball, and they scored 15 under par, which is insane to think about. So congratulations to Daniel Perry, Steve Dactis, Mike Oliver, and Ben Oliver. They all reside here in Sault Ste. Marie, and they play out of the Crimson Ridge Club. So congratulations. That is a huge win. And golf is one of the sports that you can do right now. It's one of the first sports to come back.
That's right.
And it's a sport you can do easily socially distancing. So,
it was never really an issue before, right?
I mean, it was barely an issue before. The only time you weren't social distancing was when you were sitting next to someone in the golf cart.
That's right.
And so it was basically the first sport to reopen on a large scale, because you're literally walking through fields.
You're out in fresh air.
You can't get any more socially distanced than if you want to play a sport than golf. So
that's right. So also continuing on with events, the Monster Madness tour that was scheduled to come here is canceled. This was supposed to be a stop at the GFL Memorial Gardens. It was originally postponed, but now it has been canceled altogether. This show was originally set for May 30th, 2020. However, it was postponed due to the pandemic. So it won't be happening at all. Those who purchase tickets will be given a full refund to the original method of payment, and automatic refunds will be applied to the credit card purchases within the next 2 business days, while cash refunds will be available at the box office. So, unfortunate, but it'll be back next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. I've never been to one of those, but
they're fun. I mean, even if you're not really super interested in that stuff, just to see them crush things.
I mean, it looks like when I was a kid, I had one of those little Bigfoot things, the battery operated ones. So it'd be nice to see the real things in real life.
Gravedigger and all those.
Gravedigger. Bigfoot, all that stuff. Oh, the memories.
Oh yes. All right. Now this is the moment I've been waiting for. I am excited to see. Drum roll. How does our live view look here? Oh, geez, we got something. I was hoping it would hide City Hall and it would be complete.
We can kind of see City Hall. You can see the outline. It's kind of
yeah.
not as foggy as that other day when it was just white.
That's right.
Yeah, we saw absolutely
This
nothing.
definitely isn't as bad. Thank you to wirelesscom.ca for sponsoring our cameras so we can get our lovely views. We will see the fog lift probably by noon. I'll just mention quickly, because we are getting closer to fall, your sunrise was 6:53 and your sunset will be 8:24, so the days are getting shorter. We will have those weather details, your 3-day forecast, regional temperatures, and all that right after this break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For all those times.
Every 3 seconds, someone will develop Alzheimer's, a fatal disease that steals your memories and makes you forget the people you love most. Fortunately, there is hope. Today, researchers believe a cure is just a few years away.
It's okay, Daddy, you can go. Just go.
For just $9 a month, you can fund research for a cure and make history by ending this disease.
A message from the Government of Canada.
It's been a while since I've seen Joe. We were a couple of pranksters, and Joe was always full of surprises. But today, he's the one in for a surprise.
The thing is, Joe doesn't live here anymore. For people living with dementia, getting lost can happen unexpectedly. Are you ready to help? Help people living with dementia live safely in our communities. Contact your local Alzheimer's Society and visit findingyourwayontario.ca.
And welcome back to the special report for Friday, August the 28th. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'd like to thank our 3 sponsors, KC Security, who sponsors both the special report at 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. each day. Also Northern Lights Detailing, who sponsors the weather. And also the WirelessCom, who sponsors our view of City Hall each day. So thank you very much to all of them. You can also follow us on the socials at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also stream us live on Roku and Amazon Fire. But before we go to the weather, make sure you stay tuned, because after the weather, we're going to have an interview with Abby from Clean North about their event this weekend. But first, what's going on in weather? Daniel?
Thank you very much, Chris. And yes, I'm hoping I have some good news for the weather tomorrow for their event, but it's going to be a little bit dicey tomorrow because we're going to have another system coming in. You're going to see now on the radar screen here, we have the high pressure that's over top of us right now. Not much in the form of precipitation at the moment. We have some fog out there. That'll lift by noon. But this is the next thing here that is going to be moving our way. And probably you're going to see increasing cloudiness into tonight. And then overnight, we'll probably see a few showers. And then tomorrow is when we're going to see that rain come back in. So enjoy the little bit of a break while we have it for a day. So, as mentioned, actually we'll do these temperatures first. Expected highs, 21 in Thunder Bay, 23 in Wawa today, 21 in Timmins, 23 here in Sault Ste. Marie, 22 in Elliott Lake, 24 in Sudbury. Expected lows for tonight in the region, 15 in Thunder Bay as well as in Wawa. Timmins, the cool spot once again today, 12 degrees overnight, 16 here in Sault Ste. Marie, 14 in Elliott Lake, and 15 in Sudbury. All right, so we are sitting at 17 currently, Fog is out there, as you saw on our wireless comm camera, and that will burn off by hopefully noon. Not foggy in every area of the city, but there is certain parts that is very heavy, so keep that in mind when you're driving. We're going to get down to a low of 16 tonight, and we will see the clouds move in and a risk of a thunderstorm late evening and after midnight, as well as a few showers. Winds are 15 kilometers southeast, and our humidex today is just about 3 degrees higher than our temperature, which is 26, so it won't be too humid out there. Those days are unfortunately coming to an end as we move closer to fall. All right, Saturday we're looking at a high of 19 degrees. Showers, there'll be wind becoming northwest 20 kilometers, gusting to 40 in the morning, and then increasing to 40 and gusting to 60 kilometers in the afternoon. So tomorrow we will have a windy day, so make sure if you have anything loose outside to secure it. We're going to see a low of 14 overnight and 60% chance of showers with the wind continuing on Saturday overnight. And then Sunday, we're going to see a little bit of a break from the rain once again. We're looking at mainly sunny with a few clouds, 20 degrees, comfortable day, 14 overnight. And on Monday, you're looking at a high of 22 and sunny as well. The UV index is going to be up there at about 6 or 7 that day and a low of 15 on Monday. So rain is back for a day after, and then we're going to go back into sun, and then you'll see I'm having the 7-day forecast coming up later on with the Weather Watcher. There'll be more rain coming up once again. So, you know, it is what it is. We got to get through. We're almost in September, so we'll enjoy what we can. In the meantime, we will be back with the video from Clean North, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Even though we can't always meet in person, we can still listen.
Even though schools are closed, help is still available in your community.
Even though you may be worried, services and supports are still here.
In stressful times like these, families need mental health supports more than ever.
We are here to make sure you can stay connected to your community and culture.
Nous savons qu'il peut être difficile de rester à la maison, mais vous n'êtes pas seul.
And we know asking for help for yourself and others can be hard.
But there are people in your community who are ready to support you.
No matter your age, gender, sexual identity, race, or culture.
No matter the day, time, or issue.
We're here to help.
And welcome back to Special Report for Friday, August the 28th. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you to KC Securities for your sponsorship. Alrighty, time for some Facebook shoutouts. Good morning to Juliana, Giselle, Ineki, and Marilyn. Thank you very much for saying good morning on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you want to interact with us live on the air, you can just go to our Soo Alliance Facebook page, click on the live video. That will take you over to Facebook Live as we're streaming, and there's a chat box on your right-hand side, and you can interact with us live on the air. But without further ado, time to talk to Abby at Clean North. And today I'm joined by Abby Obenchain from Clean North. They have an event coming up on this Saturday. So what's going on with Clean North this Saturday, Abby?
So Clean North has a surplus of several hundred Norway spruce seedlings. In addition, we have Christmas tree mulch from the Christmas tree chipping in January, and we're giving it away. So first come, first served, whoever shows up at Lemieux Composting on Black Road, starting at 9 a.m. going till noon. We want to get all these trees out into the community and planted, so you can take as many as you want. And as usual, we do this twice a year. We're giving away mulch, and we do that free by donation. If you're able to make a donation, that's great. If that's not, if you can't, that's okay too. And we think these are both great things for homeowners to do. Planting trees, it reduces cooling costs in the summer, improves the aesthetics of your property, helps fight climate change, and in addition, the mulch helps conserve soil moisture and helps suppress weeds. So all good.
That's awesome. So it's going to be, it's on Black Road, right? Just north of Trans-Canada Highway?
No, actually, yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
right
on Black
by,
Road, yeah.
Just past Strathclare Fields.
Yeah.
And you just pull in and there'll be people directing traffic, and we're observing all the COVID rules.
Okay.
So we are expecting people to stay 6 meters away from each other. And, if you want that added measure of protection, you can bring a mask as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully your event is successful and get all those trees out in the community and the mulch.
Thanks so much. And if people want more information, they can check out our blog at cleannorth.org or follow us on social media. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Bye.
And welcome back to Special Report. Thank you very much for Abby from Clean North for joining me to let us know about their event tomorrow. Okay, last night there was some interesting television on. More interesting than the Democratic National Convention last week.
Courtesy
of a controversial individual in the U.S., also known as the United States President, Donald Trump. Last night he accepted the renomination for obviously the Republican Party. They have their election coming up in November. I think it's about 68 days away now. And so he accepted it. Now, this year was a little different. They couldn't have their in-person convention. They were originally going to have it in North Carolina. Then they moved it to Jacksonville. Then they kind of moved it back to North Carolina, and then because of COVID-19, they've done these sort of smaller events, and some of the parts of the convention were just simply someone speaking at a podium. So somewhat similar to what the Democrats did the previous week. But he's actually the first president to accept the nomination on the White House South Lawn, with the White House in the background. So his speech went well. He was actually not his normal self. He was a little bit more peaceful. Okay. He was trying to paint a very bright outlook of the future for the United States, particularly if you vote for him over Joe Biden. That's a given. Obviously, he's going to think he's a better choice than Joe Biden. Yeah. But his speech was actually received fairly well across the media. It was not his usual, me this, me that. It was very about presenting a future, and there's presenting a distinct difference between the future that the Democrats are talking about and the future that the Republicans are. Right? This election is very, very. They both need to get centrists to be able to win. Yes. But they're also both playing to their bases as well. So we'll see what happens there.
It'll be interesting.
Polls, Trump has been rising in the polls compared to Biden as well recently too. So, but we got to hit a commercial break. So we'll be right back after this with your 7-day forecast.
Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
It's easier to say nothing than blend in. But I need to speak up for what I know is right. I have a voice. I can lead the way. I will be a light in my community.
And welcome back to Special Report for Friday, August 28th. We're nearing the end of August pretty quickly. Thank you to KC Security for sponsoring, and also thank you to Northern Lights Detailing for sponsoring our weather. And we're going to get into the 7-day forecast right now. So you're going to see rain is back on Saturday, and then we'll get a little bit of a break from it on Sunday and Monday. You want to get out and enjoy those days. We're around seasonal, 20 and 22 degrees. Then we're going to see some showers and rain come back on Tuesday, Wednesday once again. We'll still be in those low 20s. And then Thursday, Friday are looking like some sun and clouds at this point, but we are dropping to 18 on Friday. And your overnight lows are between 14 and 16 degrees. So not a whole lot to report overnight. It's still staying pretty warm then. And we're going to look at our weather watcher now, and it's a pretty foggy one because it was sent in this morning for the fog. And that's actually overlooking the lake. You can't see the lake. Yeah, you see the tree there. It's over. Yeah,
it almost looks like the cover of Joshua Tree, the U2 album. Remember that?
Yeah. It kind
of looks like that. Actually,
you can kind of see a little bit in the background the silhouette of trees. But yes, if you want to send in those photos, on TV weather at gmail.com is where you can send them, and make sure you include your name and location. And they could be anything. They could be weather related, or something with your pet in the weather. We like pet photos too. So if you have any pet photos, please send them in, and we'll get it up on our weather watcher. Okay, so big news in the NHL, following suit with a lot of major leagues. They have suspended their games. So they've postponed their playoff games in the aftermath of the police shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man in Wisconsin last weekend. The players requested the postponements, and the league did support the decision. The NHL's decision came after NBA players started a string of postponements, with 3 games called off Wednesday when the Milwaukee Bucks refused to play Game 5 of their first round series against the Orlando Magic. So teams from Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, and the WNBA also postponed some games. So everything's pretty much at a standstill once again.
Yeah.
Now it's important to note that it's a big statement coming from the NHL, because as we know, the NHL is predominantly white players, whereas opposed to basketball is more black players than there would be white players. So
basketball, football, a lot of the other sports are much more diverse in terms of the
That's right,
the
and hockey
makeup.
is dominated by white males, so this is a very big statement for them to actually support that.
And we got our COVID-19 numbers. Just go over them quickly. 118 new COVID-19 infections with 1 death. This was after we had 1 day when we were back in double digits. Now we're back up into triple digits. 28 of the 34 public health units had 5 or fewer cases. 18 had no cases at all, including here in Algoma. Also, 68% of the cases in the last 24 hours were in people under the age of 39. That's a trend we see continuing. We have 48 people in the hospital, 18 in the ICU, and 10 on a ventilator. Come back at 1 o'clock today. We have Doug Ford's announcement. Monty McLaughlin will be there, Minister of Labour, Training and Skills Development. Also Todd Smith, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. And also Jamal Giovanni, who is the Ontario's Advocate for Community Opportunities. So please come back and join me at 1 p.m. for that. Thank you very much for watching.
See you at 1.